Welcome to the Gaming Society Football Show. Wildcard weekend. I had never played in the playoffs, so this is new to me, Mike Vick. You have, but the Gaming Society gets to play in the playoffs. First off, Mike, before I get to all these questions, I want to give a big welcome. Every playoff weekend, we're going to play Vick's Picks for free, right? So you're going to pick with Mike Vick, and you can win a chance to be on the show with us and a chance for a free month of Fubo TV. You should get that. I have it. It's great. Answer questions correctly at gs.predictionsgame.com for a chance to win. So get that in. Play Vick's Picks for free for a free month of Fubo TV and a chance to be on the show with us. So a big welcome to that. Big shout out at the top of the show. Yeah. Speaking of picks, I suck, Mike. I'm real shitty I'm shitty at the all-in game. I had a chance to tie you. And I didn't. You had the Niners over the Rams. Now tell me what you were. Why did you pick that game? What were you smelling? What were they putting off?
When I see it,
yeah,
I know a state of desperation, and the 49ers had so much on the line. And Jimmy G, everything was riding on this game, and he pulled through. An amazing moment in sports for him. So shout out to Jimmy G. He did his thing.
Do you think that's the type of game that if the Niners lose, there will be changes at the top? There will be a lot of organizational changes. Do you think that's what you were kind of feeling? Because that might have happened.
Yeah, the organization already showed it it's ready to go in a different direction. And it's not because of Jimmy G's play on the field. It's because of durability. Like, I was a victim of that. If you're not available, then that's just as, it is what it is. You're not available to your team. So you got to provide services. You got to be out there. So his whole issue has just been injury related. Other than that, he's a solid quarterback.
Coach Kubiak once told us the best ability is availability.
Availability.
You got to be out on the field. It's hard. I don't care if you make Pro Bowls every other year. I need you to play every year. Now, I, on the other hand, picked the Bengals over the Browns, and I was wrong again. I thought the Browns, after watching them on their Week 18 or their game before, were going to come out Week 18 weak, not excited to play. Calling it in, trying not to get hurt. But you look at the way the Bengals came out; they didn't come out ready to play playoff football, and the Browns almost did, and it gave me another loss. So I finished the year 6-7, pathetic. I'm a loser.
Yeah, man, you got to get better.
You finished 8-5, but granted, I gave you one of those victories, so I'll take a little credit over that. I took my so. I'll do that. But, Tease, we got a lot of picks to make this week. We got a lot of big games. But before we get to that, Mike, we always like to say, who impressed you last week? A lot of amazing games came down, a lot of amazing finishes. I'm curious who stood out.
Well, it was a hell of a way to go out in Week 18. And I think about Jacksonville and the way they look. But the last game of the regular season, Week 18, the Raiders and the Chargers.
How could you not talk about that, right?
I'm someone on both sides, man. Justin Herbert, he looked good. He laid it all out on the line. I don't think they get it to Keenan Allen enough, but that's not my issue. That's a story for another day.
Yep.
But Derek Carr just stepped up. He was a different quarterback, and he put that team on his back, and he led them to victory. And you could just see the confidence in his face. You could see it during this play. But more importantly, you can see the confidence that he had post-game, in his post-game press conference. He just
good point.
It's like I've been waiting for this for a long time, a lot of ups and downs, but here I delivered. Vegas came out. It was an amazing night.
I never really think too much about that. That's a good point. That like an athlete, it's relief more than it is joy for a lot of victories. It's that feeling that you finally accomplished it. You got the monkey off your back. You got the issue. You got the whatever, everything you've been carrying around, especially in the quarterback position where that's what they grade you on, basically touchdown to interception ratio, wins, and playoff appearances and Super Bowls. Right. And that's it. So that's a good point about him kind of feeling that sense of relief. I'm going to pick the team that you had, the Niners over the Rams. I think the Raiders and the Chargers, that was kind of an obvious one, and that what a spectacular game. But the Niners, I wasn't with you. I was watching that game thinking they were really going to struggle in Los Angeles. Who is going to make plays? How are they going to get out of there with a W? Yes, I know they had to be desperate and they had to play for they were playing for a lot, but they put it together. And I thought they put together a 4-quarter game, and more than anything they had done all week, or all year, they played physical. Because the Rams teams, those are physical football teams. They're physical up front. They got big dudes up front, fast dudes all over the field, and they matched them. And it started with the play of Jimmy G, just like you mentioned, and Debo showed up, which he's a special football player.
Yeah, they fly around on defense too.
Yeah, they got their dudes. They got their dudes. I think, you know what, I was just really impressed. The league in general, I was a little worried about an extra game in the season, but I'm curious just kind of watching that extra game, if not a specific game, just the league in general, I thought really showed up that last week. They obviously did a great job kind of promoting it, but it was fun. That whole last weekend was great. Yeah,
no doubt. And I got to shout out my man, D'Amico Ryan. That's my former teammate. Stepped up big, man. The defense really showed up for the 49ers.
I have a great D'Amico Ryan story. Did I tell you my D'Amico Ryan's birthday story?
No.
I never told you my D'Amico Ryan's birthday story?
No.
Okay, so I was drafted with D'Amico. I don't know if the producers are going to keep this in, but I'm going to tell this story. I was drafted with D'Amico. I go to training camp, and it's July 28th, like the second day of training camp. It's my birthday. And after training camp, we go up, we all huddle up, and Coach Kubiak's giving his little speech, and he says, by the way, today's a special guy's birthday. We brought him here this year. We're super excited. He's going to contribute a lot. Amazing football player. He's been making plays all over the field. We can't wait for him to lead us. Everyone give it up for Anthony Weaver, and everyone claps for Anthony Weaver. Right now, used to be the former DC of the Houston Texans. Now, right. I think he's working up in Baltimore.
Yeah.
So it was his birthday, and I was like, damn, they forgot about my birthday. All of a sudden, the guy whispers in Kubiak's ear. He goes, oh, whoa, hold up. We have one more birthday. We drafted this guy. He's going to be a hell of a football player. He's also going to be a hell of a starter and a hell of a leader on this football team. Can't be more excited to get him more reps with the ones. Everybody give it up for D'Amico Ryans. And they clap it up for D'Amico Ryans, and they say, D'Amico, Anthony, break it up. They owe no love for the 7th-round pick.
No love for your birthday.
So D'Amico and I are forever. I thought I told you that story. It's one of my favorites ever.
No doubt.
I'm always be attached to D'Amico, but that is an intriguing story. But we got the newsletter's intriguing matchups. Odds brought to us by the Fubo sports book. The closest spread game. So according to Fubo, it's kind of, I always get mixed up with the
I think Fubo
the old brand Fubo,
yeah.
Which I like, actually. It's kind of fun. The closest spread of any game this week, San Francisco at Dallas.
Okay.
-3. Dallas is favored. The last 3 weeks of Dallas has been a trip to watch. I'm curious. San Francisco coming off a big win. What do you think about San Francisco's chances going in there in Dallas?
I mean, I think they got a shot because the one thing that you can do is ride that momentum off a big win. And those are the type of wins that can give you momentum going into the playoffs, and you can go on a playoff run. I think about the New York Giants years and years ago.
Yeah.
Big week 17 wins, and ultimately gives you the confidence to keep pushing forward and keep making it happen. So I think they got a shot, man. Dallas got to really be prepared and be ready for the 49ers because they're coming in to play. That's a good thing.
If you're San Francisco, you got a Dallas team that has all-stars kind of all over the field. How are you attacking this Dallas defense? Because that's where Kyle Shanahan and his offense is going to start.
Well, I think they got some mismatches. I think Debo Samuel is a mismatch for anybody. But most importantly, you got to contain Michael Parsons. And when you got him and DeMarcus Lawrence on the same defense rushing the passer, that can instantly turn into a game-wrecking situation. You don't want those guys to be the reason that you can't attack certain areas of the field. And I think it's for them to look at it on film. It won't be easy to run the ball against Dallas. I think you got to take advantage of some one-on-one matchups with Debo, try to get him on Diggs or keep him away from Diggs and attack opposite of Diggs. So that's the game plan. Run the game plan through Debo Samuel because he's been the offense for the 49ers the last couple of weeks, and a big reason why they've been winning.
Can you, Kyle Shanahan's offense, zone offense, not the zone read offense, but the zone offense, get everybody run horizontal? Is that Is that an effective offense against a guy like Michael Parsons, a guy who can run as fast as he can, or is that just designed a little bit more for the bigger dudes? Because I never know.
It's dangerous. So I had a disciple of Mike Shanahan, Alex Gibbs, when I was in Atlanta.
Oh yeah,
I learned
you had Gibbs.
Game. I won't talk about but so
the little Indian.
Yeah, I was with Gibbs. He was a character. He's a great coach, though.
Oh yeah,
great coach. He's very demanding, and we loved it. But Warwick Dunn and T.J. Duckett, we ran that scheme, so I seen it. I handed the ball off, and I seen what it can do. And I had dudes off there square because you gotta really had a heart to take on some of those blocks. You know what I'm saying? But it's a daily scheme if you know how to know what you're doing and you perfect it. And then the play action off of it is even more deadlier. So that's where we excelled, and that's where the 49ers are excelling right now.
Yeah, that's what makes me wonder is like when a team like Dallas has that speed all over the field, can you pull that off? It'll be interesting to see. Spread, once again, Dallas favored by 3 points. Playoff football, just like you mentioned, desperation. Everyone's playing. Win or go home, as they say.
Yeah.
Can San Francisco, let's not even worry about the spread. Can San Francisco win this game? Because if you think they can win, then obviously you can think they can cover. But I'm curious, who are you picking here, San Francisco at Dallas?
Oh, man, pick a winner. I would go with Dallas at home. Just Dak pulling it out. Now, we talking about moments. I feel like I've been speaking on moments the last couple of weeks. Derek Carr, Matthew Stafford. We all have our moments. I feel like this is Dak's moment. Even if they don't go past in the divisional.
Yeah.
They got to find a way to win this game. So, I'll ride with the Dallas Cowboys on this one.
I'm with you. I think the Niners, you brought up a good point where the Giants were in riding high and kind of beating the Rams. But let's not forget the Giants beat a 15-0 Patriots team their last game of the season, and were riding high. Whereas the San Francisco beat a division rival who they've beaten 9 straight games or some ridiculous that is a team that they were supposed to beat and they had to beat to get in. So a little different momentum, certainly momentum, but Dallas isn't going to care at Dallas. I think you're right, kind of referencing the moment there. I'm with you on that one, and I'm with you there. I don't think they cover. I think Dallas wins that game by more than 3. So I'm picking Dallas. But for the betting academy this week, we're not making picks. We're going down the prop bet route. And I know for a long time ago we were talking about prop bets. These are what's called player prop bets, right? Individual bets that you can make on a player to do certain things. And right now we're going to do the player who will score the first touchdown in a game and get slimed, as they say. Because I don't know if you know this, but the San Francisco at Dallas game will be on Nickelodeon. So bring your kids. That's when remember when they slimed Sean Payton last year, and every time they scored, they did the slime. So we're betting on the first slime right here. Dallas and San Francisco, right, in Nickelodeon slime zone, as they call it. George Kittle, D-Boy Samuel, Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, or other are your bets. Who is your first guy to get slimed? I feel like, what's his name, Mark Summers? Remember at Double Dare? I feel like I'm Mark Summers at Double Dare over here.
When I think of slime, that's what I think, just the bucket falling on you. Double Dare.
Double Dare, Mike Vick, who you got? George Kittle, Debo Samuel, Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, or Amari Cooper. I don't even know how you read.
It's just come out of nowhere, too. Embarrassing slime.
Who you got?
CeeDee Lamb.
Oh.
I think he touched first. I think he touched it.
I like that. He's been putting together a good couple of weeks. Maybe he's a little fired up after Alabama losing the national championship game.
Because that was a shocker.
That made me happy.
Good football though.
I'm gonna go with George Kittle. I'm gonna say let's say Dallas wins the coin toss, defers, San Francisco gets the ball. I got George Kittle scoring on that opening drive. I like Kyle Shanahan on his first 15s.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna
strike offense for sure. That's the one you can bank on.
I think they're gonna do a lot of bunch to explodes
Yeah.
Bring them in, expand them out.
Yeah.
Against Dallas. If you can get those big athletic guys to have to make a decision on the run, you got a chance. Yep. But I think if you let those all-star Pro Bowl players back there kind of sit and watch and wait for it, I don't think your odds are that good. So I'm going with George Kittle. So we got George Kittle and CeeDee Lamb on our slime zone. We will see. I kind of like to see that. I'll be watching that with my daughter. Hopefully convince her to watch a little more football with me. That'd be a good one.
Right.
The biggest matchups of the playoffs, we're going to break this down into two bunches. We're going to go AFC, NFC. The team that everyone watched, obviously, last game of the season, the Raiders at the Bengals. The Raiders are 6-point underdogs in Cincinnati. Cincinnati, the last time they won a playoff game, Mike Vick, I want you to guess when the last time Cincinnati won a playoff game.
Let me see. So I got to take it back to the days when it's my fellow lefty, Boomer Esiason had to be the quarterback.
Whew.
Hold up, no. Andy Dalton never won one. So let me say, I say 89.
1990. Hell of a guess.
90, yeah.
Hell of a guess.
Yeah.
Hell of a guess. Yeah. Boomer Esiason, exactly right. I think he might have been the quarterback. Those are the Icky Shuffle days. That's the only reference I have. I don't know.
All the way.
But
took him out.
By far the most the coolest helmet out there when you were growing up. Everyone wanted the Bengals helmet. That was the baddest thing out there.
Cincinnati, like they came out of nowhere.
I still don't know why. I think Memphis Tigers tried to copy them in college, but that's the baddest helmet out there.
Yeah.
But can a team favored by 6 points that hasn't won a playoff game in 32 years pull it off? Do you like the Bengals, even though they're coming off a loss? Raiders coming off an emotional win. Does that matter going into the playoffs? Cincinnati hosting the Raiders. Who do you like in this game?
I don't think it matters, man. I like Cincinnati because I think Joe Burrow is at the top of his game right now, and he's clearly seeing the field and making good decisions and pushing the ball downfield to Jamar Chase. So I like that. And then you sprinkle in the little Joe Mixon. They got offense. Defense stepped up tremendously, so they got to hold the fort down at home. That's the key for them, being at home. The Raiders on the flip side, Derek Carr playing with a lot of motivation. And I don't want it to be a situation where they feel like they just content with being in.
Yeah.
Got in. Both of these teams, I think, can take it a step further. So not a lot of expectations. I do think Derek Carr is playing with a bigger chip on his shoulder. So I think the Raiders go in, and I think they get the win. They find a way to win because of Derek.
You think? Wow, sounds like you talked yourself in and out and back into that. I like that.
I'm just doing a backstory, man, because it can't always just be like pick a winner and why. I don't mind doing that.
Nor do I want to do that, and I don't think any either. Hey, if our all-in record shows anything, I'm shitty at that. So let me stay away from just saying let me set it and forget it. I enjoy actually talking about the game and seeing if there is something else that stands out. If a win shows up, if a cover shows up, if something like that shows up when we have these discussions, then I'll take it. But I like going at it with a fresh set of eyes. And when I think about this Raiders team going in there, how much they have overcome throughout the season has really bonded this team, I think. I think you're exactly right when you talk about a guy playing with a chip on his shoulder like Derek Carr. The one thing that worries me is they got one superstar, Darren Waller. I don't know anybody on that Raiders team that's really killing it, and that you can't.
About Josh Jacobs. Let me take a second to remind everybody that Josh Jacobs is one of the top 5 running backs in the National Football League.
Okay.
The moves that he make, the balance that he run with, second to none.
Now people are gonna blast me on Twitter and say, Dave, why don't you reference Hunter Renfrow? But I can't give Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter Renfrow, the next Cooper Kupp. That's what we try. You look at the game and you see people who want to. You got to idolize other people. You got to look at people who look like you and play like you. And I think Renfrow, he want to be Kupp, and that's what he on his way to be. There's a sweet combo going on.
I think what's interesting is they've done a good job mixing Darren Waller as actually more of the deep threat and Hunter Renfrow as the underneath threat. That's typically the opposite, right? And I think that's Hunter Renfrow and Cooper Kupp's games are completely different. Let me first say they might have a similar skin tone, but other than that, I think they play the game completely differently. And then Hunter's crafty. Hunter is a crafty player.
Cooper Kupp is right?
He is crafty, but he is a great receiver. Like, flat out, I just think he understands defense. He plays it like a quarterback and understands receivers. I don't think he's in Cooper's class yet, put it that way. If he gets there, more power to him. I think he'll get there. But
at least he got an admiration to get there.
Darren Waller is a baller, though. That guy is a baller, and you look for him on all sorts of things. And what's really great when you have a tight end like that, that's willing to block, right? He's not the best blocker, but he's willing to stick his head in there. He creates all sorts of crazy matchups for guys because you can't put a tight end on him, and you can't come down with a safety. Otherwise, they'll just push him around on option routes and get and big body him. So it's that'll be a
they lost Ruggs, and then Renfrow steps up, and that takes some pressure off of Waller. So this whole thing is starting to come together for the Raiders.
I'm going to go with the Bengals, though. I'm going to go opposite of you, so we're going to take the opposite of that. I'm going to say Bengals win at home and snap this 32-year losing streak. But the AFC matchup that I think has everyone pretty much talking is the Patriots to the Bills. Third time this year. The home team has won both times. I never played a game. I never played in the playoffs. I'm probably going to say this 6 times on this podcast, but I never played in the playoffs. So I certainly never played anyone 3 times in a year. Yeah. Did you have to do that? Play someone 3 times in a year?
No. Now that I think about it, no.
Yeah, that one I find really interesting, especially when they played 2 games so late in the season, and then this third. I mean, they're basically playing each other 3 times in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's not like either of these guys are really getting any key matchup guys back. So it's not like this is going to be 2 different teams playing each other. It's not like they're now playing in cold weather where in the beginning of the year they play in warm weather. So there's not a lot of changing factors. Everyone wants to know what Patriots team is going to come out there. You know, they have that infamous now kind of all or nothing run game, which they beat the Bills the first time. Bills come back, don't let them do such things and beat them at home. What are you expecting out of this Patriots-Bills game for this Wildcard weekend?
I expect the Bills to come out on fire. Like, they got the film. They got a lot of film to watch and a lot of things to pull from. But I do expect Josh Allen to play a lot better than he did in the first game at home. And there was a lot of factors surrounding that with the wind and the gust and all that. I get it, but Josh Allen he's on a different level. You're looking at a quarterback who can do all things, everything. So, Great passer to the football, great runner, got willingness, grit. So, another guy in a position to just put his team on his back, and I'm excited to watch him.
I'll tell you what makes this one interesting is, like, in a normal playoff series or in a playoff game, at least from the outside, it seems like it's treated differently throughout the work week, and you prepare differently, and you're not sure exactly what you're going to get. But I feel like for these 2 younger quarterbacks playing the team for the 3rd time in the year, there's a sense of familiarity to that. So it's not the pressure probably feels a little different. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going into wherever Kansas City, Pittsburgh. You're you're gonna play the.
I know you.
Yeah, exactly.
Too much past me, like, yo, let's do this one more time.
Exactly. It's like, run it back. You know what I mean? We're gonna
run it back.
Just like that. And you know what? For those type of games, I stay away from. I don't know if you have a favorite in this game. Buffalo's favored by 4. The total's 43.5, which is interesting. Always in cold weather places, but that's not a super high total. But I don't know if you like anyone better than this. But that's a deadly number, like we always talk about, right above 3. That means Buffalo's basically got to win by a touchdown. I don't see anyone winning by a touchdown. This is a field goal game to me, but I'm curious what you think there.
Yeah, I'll take the under on that one. No, I don't think they cover.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Patriots cover. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Under and no cover would be a good way to go. It's it's a good one. Now the team that had about 10 million fans up until late in the middle of the night, not last night, but a couple nights ago. Steelers playing the Chiefs, biggest dog of the weekend, basically. Kansas City coming in at -12, almost a 2-touchdown favorite. Steelers at the Chiefs. Big Ben getting it to run it back one more time.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this stat that I think blows my mind. Big Ben has played in 22 playoff games. So, like, this is nothing new for him. Wild card, it doesn't matter. He doesn't care. The thing that surprised me the most, and I know that Ben's had some highs and some lows in playoffs, 34 touchdowns and 28 interceptions. Yeah. So, to me, when I look at this game, if the Steelers don't turn it over, they got a chance. I don't think that's a novel thing to say, but, like, that seems pretty evident, no?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the type of game that's going to be really close or it's going to be a blowout. Like, either Pittsburgh going to come in and they're going to tick for tat with Kansas City because they can explode at any time at home. And the dangerous part about playing in Kansas City is that momentum is real. So if Pittsburgh can keep it up, if Ben can keep him in it, and they can just slow Patrick down and keep him on the sideline, keep that offense on the sideline, then we got a game. Other than that, I think if they can't score points consistently, then at some point Kansas City gonna blow the doors off the game.
Were you in the playoffs with the Steelers?
Did I play?
Well, were you on the team? You were on the team that year, right?
I was on the team. I think we lost to Denver, I would say. I think we lost to Denver.
What is it about the Steelers in the playoffs that, like, everyone has this confidence? It doesn't feel new, even though there's new guys that never played. Is it Big Ben? Is it Tomlin? Is it the organization? Like, when I see Steelers at Chiefs, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm always like, damn, I wish I would have had someone else here because this is always a confident football team in the playoffs.
It's dangerous. Even Ben, in his last game, potentially, it's going to be dangerous. Ben can beat you. Ben can put together a drive or two when needed at the end of the game, at the end of the half to score points or to beat you. He's still got ice water in his veins regardless of his age or how his body may feel. He's still elite. So he'll be elite till he walk off that field whenever that happens.
I'm with you.
He got a shot.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Chiefs win this game. I kind of, now I left her listening, you kind of tend to agree it's probably going to be either a blowout or a really close game. The thing about Kansas City, I don't remember, it was a couple years ago. I think it was like Tennessee or something. I forgot who it was they were playing, but they jumped out to like a 17-point lead right away, and then they got caught and they pulled it away at the end. But like, you're right, this is the type of team where the momentum is real in Kansas City, especially at Kansas City. It'll be interesting to see if there's weather that affects the game, right, if there's any COVID issues that affects these games, because there's always this little stuff that comes in creeping in the last couple of days here in the playoffs that really kind of throws things for a loop. But I'm going to take Kansas City. I'll take them to cover. I think Kansas City wins by 2 touchdowns. I do think this is a blowout, but it sounds like you might have the other way on that one.
No, I'm taking Kansas City.
All right, let's roll with that.
Yeah.
And then let's roll right into these NFC matchups. I'm excited. We got another interdivision matchup. I'm excited to see this Buccaneers team again, though. Like, they're playing the Eagles. They're playing your boys. Eagles at the Bucs. Can Tom Brady pull this all together again? The answer is always yes. It seems to be. But, like, it doesn't seem to faze him that he's playing, like, you know what I mean? Like, they used to get a bye. It seemed like it always has to be set up. It just doesn't matter for Tom Brady. Excited to see how he goes on another run here because no one wants to play Tom Brady. I'm sure shit that Jalen Hurts in his first kind of playoff battle doesn't want to see Tom Brady. But you got the Eagles at Bucs. Bucs favored by 8.5. I don't see that happening. What do you think the Eagles' chances are is going down there in Tampa Bay? And first of all, making it challenging, and do you think they got a chance? I mean, anyone's got a chance, but do you think they could?
They played them tough early in the year. You know,
yeah.
Obviously, Jalen Hurts is going to have to be the one that they got to stop, and Tom Brady on the flip side is going to be the man that they got to stop on the other side. So it's going to be it's anybody's game. All these playoff games, anybody's game.
What is it that Jalen Hurts needs to do differently to kind of like? You talk about playoffs, and to me, when playoffs, they tend to take away your best, the thing that you do best even more. They scout you up even more. They take away your best formation. They take away your best passing play. They might take away the spot that this receiver or this running back likes the best. From a quarterback perspective, what does a guy like Jalen Hurts need to do a little differently to have a good game? Or is it stick to the basics.
Now you stick to the basics, but you do whatever is necessary to keep the chains moving. The playoffs is all about getting first downs, scoring points, and keeping the opposing team off the field. Whoever wins the time of possession battle, most likely you're not giving up big plays. It's going to be a big play here and there, but you're not giving up a bunch of huge plays. Consistent drives is what we're in the playoffs, and that's what Jalen can do because he can put it on the ground, and he's maturing and getting better as a passer. So anything can happen. He's in the elite club.
And big plays just aren't happening because you can't really trick anyone in the playoffs unless you're doing some trick plays. But right, the schemes are just a little different. Everyone's a little tighter, or what is it about? What about that?
It's scheme. It's scheme, man. Like everybody's peaking right now. So you come into these playoff games, you're more confident in your abilities to win than in any negative thoughts of losing. Like it's like we moving on. You come into the playoffs with a mindset of we moving on. We just got to get past this team. We're well prepared. We know what it's like to prepare for anybody, and we wouldn't be here if our formula didn't work. So the playoffs is confirmation that the formula worked. From there you just got to go out and earn everything else.
I like that. The formula works.
Yep.
Now, two teams that might need to check their formula is the Cardinals and Rams, kind of backing into the playoffs, I guess you could say, especially the LA Rams had a chance to make sure that their division rival didn't get in. But Rams are favored 4.5. Los Angeles is going to host a playoff game for the first time in a long, long time. That'll be fun. Or at least in front of fans. The LA Rams, Cardinals, another thing we talked about, playing a team 3 times, right? McVay, Kingsbury know each other really well. A 4 seed versus a 5 seed. The second closest game, right? The first closest was that Niners-Cowboys game, -3. Seems like all these NFC teams are pretty close. What do you think the Rams need to do, or the Cardinals need to do, to come out with a victory in this game?
The Rams need to find a way to get Odell back on the ball, because the Cardinals are going to try to take Cooper Kupp away. Even though that's impossible, I think Odell got to be a part of this game plan. I think he got to show up a little more. And Matthew Stafford underthrew him last week. I know he's trying to get caught up to speed. He lost to Burner and Robert Woods. So, it takes time to develop that deep ball chemistry. So I think that needs to show up at some point. They need some big plays. Can't just rely on Cooper Kupp. And for Arizona, it's a quarterback-driven league. It's about Kyler Murray. The Cardinals are going to go as Kyler go. Defensively, they're going to make some plays, and they're going to stay in some ball games. Offensively, they got weapons. But this team goes as Kyler goes, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
When you're a team like LA Rams, and you know that the Cardinals are going to try to take away Cooper Kupp, when you say get Odell Beckham the ball, are we calling a deep far corner for him? Are we calling a throwback for him? Are we setting up a double move early in the game? All the above? How are you trying to get a guy like Odell Beckham the ball?
You get him in a rhythm. He got to touch it. He got to touch the ball. I don't care how he touch it. Great players just need to touch the ball. It's not always about getting a catch. It's not always about catching the ball deep. You can give him a reverse, and he can get 35 yards, and now he to the floor of the game. You just got to keep his mind in the game. It's easy to wander off mentally when you're not a part of the game plan. And I know receivers, as much as they run, and that's why I mentioned Keenan Allen earlier with Justin Herbert, I don't feel like he's been touching it enough. He's a difference maker. Difference makers got to touch the ball. They got to be heavily involved. So when I say that, I mean just get him the ball. It's a lot of space. You got a creative mind. Get him the ball. Let him touch it.
I always thought I couldn't agree more. Being a guy that I think the hardest thing for me when I was playing in the NFL, every player is their best in the NFL is by far, or unless you're on a crazy high school team, the best player in your high school team, probably the best player in the county or the region or whatever it is in high school. You go to college, same thing. You're the best player on your team most likely, or one of the best, right? It's not like 10 guys. Well, not all of us play on Alabama where 10 guys are getting drafted, right?
Yeah.
And so you're used to touching the ball. You're used to being part of the game plan. You're used to having that. Then I got to the NFL, and I had to earn my way to get some touches.
Yeah.
And I can say by far, staying connected to the game, when I hadn't touched the ball in 3 quarters, and all of a sudden it's a 3rd and 7, and they finally call my number, like, to turn it on then was always that hardest thing. Because, like, man, it would have been nice if I had a little bubble screen here or a little, like, underneath reverse or something like that, or even an option route early in the game. Because that rhythm, people forget how important that rhythm is. And I don't think as a quarterback they talk enough about that, because they often talk about keeping a quarterback on rhythm. 1, 2, 3, throw the slant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, throw the dig.
Rhythm was important to me, so I know rhythm is important to running back. Every position.
Is it the word rhythm? Like, it's the flow of the game, right? Because especially in playoffs, it's got to be the intensity and the speed, right?
It's on our level, and this is good for people to hear. Like, I got this moment. Yeah, I'm good. I got this. You can come to me. This defender in front of me can't guard me. You throw it this way, I'm catching. I'm coming up with it. I'm winning in my mind. So you got to win mentally. You got to win mentally, even when you're not being productive. You're not catching the ball. You got to stay. You might have to make a key block downfield. Might hustle. They broke on the other side. It's football real. Dave, it's hot. Baby.
Oh, yeah.
It's hot.
Oh, yeah. You never want to be the guy that didn't hustle backside and cost Arian Foster an 82-yard touchdown. That's the easiest way to lose. You'll lose a friend. Not only will you get cut, you'll lose a friend.
Right.
Arian Foster, he won't talk to you at the end of the week. He's like, man, I'm blocking middle linebackers on whatever.
Serious business.
Yeah, you better go get your corner. Eagles at Bucks, Tampa Bay -8. Quick pick here. Who are you taking?
You know who I'm taking, man. I'm taking Philly. I ain't betting against my boy.
I'm going to take Tom Brady. I'm taking Tom Brady to cover, so I'm going to go on the opposite of you. LA Rams -4.5, the favorite here, and the host. Cardinals at Rams. Who you got there?
I'm going with the Cardinals, man. Kyler Murray pull it out.
Looks like you and I are just gonna be on opposite day here. I'm gonna take the Rams.
Yeah.
I think the city of LA is ready for a playoff team. I think they've rallied behind the Rams. I think they're excited to host. I think that we've kind of grown, that we had this natural hatred for the Cardinals. So I'm gonna go with the Rams over the Cardinals.
I want the best for the city. I want the best for the team. But man, come on now.
Kyler Murray's a beast.
I'm a big fan of Sean. Everybody you gotta go get it. Gotta go earn it.
Now, the conductors of these trains, these head coaches, obviously in the playoffs, they don't have anything to worry about. But there's a lot of head coaching vacancies that have come up. There's a lot of young QBs out there that are looking for a new coach, someone new to teach them. If you could choose, I want to put on you first your coach, and I'm gonna ask this question from both sides. If you could coach any one of these teams right now, the Raiders, Broncos, Jaguars, Dolphins, Bears, or Vikings, which team are you picking and why?
I'll probably go coach the Bears. The one they got a quarterback that he's a dual threat. So offensively, I think we got a lot of options there. I think I'll be able to teach him in the game and how to go about understanding how to get through a game, how to win a game. Of course, it takes time in a relationship, so we'll have to spend a lot of time together so we can be on the same page and connect mentally and what it takes. And then I got Khalil Mack on defense and Eddie Jackson. So I got me a good defensive end already. And I got a safety, so they can control the defense. You can win a game, and then you got Roquan Smith at linebacker in the middle. So I got all 3 areas of the defense covered. I got the defensive line, all 3 levels.
It doesn't help.
I got a linebacker and I got a safety, all pros. I just got to build around them. So I got a quarterback that I got to tighten up. I mean, that's easy. That's easy money. And then I just get a good defensive coordinator that just take us to the top.
I like that. It doesn't hurt that you pick a team in the NFC North, which is struggling these days with Detroit. Detroit's 2 easy wins. Minnesota's an easy victory. Green Bay not yet.
You got to get ready for Green Bay.
Yeah, that's all you got to get ready for. Now I'm going to flip this question. You're Michael Vick. You're the quarterback of the Bears. Who do you want to be your coach?
Byron Leftwich is out there. I think Byron Leftwich is a guy who knows how to coach quarterbacks. He knows a lot about the game. You know, he's been in some great offenses. Spent a lot of time with Bruce Arians when he was young. When he was in Pittsburgh with Ben, he probably learned a lot from Ben and vice versa. And so he come with a lot of football knowledge. And then being with Tom, like, it's a formula.
Yeah.
He's coming with a formula. And I think that experience that he has, you just can't get that anywhere. So I would definitely take him into consideration.
I like that. I also like Nathaniel Hackett, the offensive coordinator for the Green Bay. I've heard I've been with him a couple times. Super engaging from a personnel in a installment. But the one guy whose name I don't see tossed around all the time, which blows my mind, is Bieniemy.
Yeah.
And you know, for 3 years running, he was the hottest thing out there, and then he hasn't been that hot yet, or hot again. And I'm curious if he's going to take any of these jobs. But him not being mentioned, but more of an astonishment to me was Brian Flores getting fired from Miami.
Yeah, that shocked me.
He rallied that team.
That shocked me. That was not supposed to happen. The Dolphins better have something in mind. They better come shock the world. They better bring somebody back. They got to bring somebody back.
Can you, if you're the Raiders, Broncos, you can go get Brian Flores, right? You would think that, like, that's a hell of a football coach.
Oh, as soon as the Minnesota, imagine what he'll do with Minnesota. I mean, all Brian Flores needs is a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's missing some offense. So somebody's about to get lucky. I mean, the football world should be thankful. The NFL world, coaching world, or organizations should be thankful that Flores is on the market. You know, it makes the job easier.
I just don't think he goes. I don't think anyone wants to go to Jacksonville right now. I think they're going to let someone else that dumpster fire. Oakland would be interesting for Brian Flores, or Las Vegas. Sorry, Las Vegas would be interesting for Brian Flores to go quarterback. Minnesota, I think, would be good too. I'm a believer in what Kirk Cousins has pulled off. I don't think he's the most dynamic quarterback, but you don't always need a dynamic quarterback to be. Yeah, he gets it done. He makes it happen. And anyone that's bet on themselves like he has, I've always been pretty impressive. These young QBs, though, that are on these teams that have these new coaches, Godspeed, my friends, because you know better than anyone. Changing coaches, changing personnel, changing verbiage. I always feel sorry for the guys. I'll tell you, I'm at you didn't mention my background, but I'm at AFCA out in San Antonio.
Yeah, I noticed.
And the one thing I walked in, I did for the first time I'd ever done, I put on the new Riddell helmets. I tried on all the helmets, and I had one that had the quarterback thing in there, and they were giving me a play call.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you spit this out? Like, and if you don't know the language, you just spit it out. Like these young QBs that are going to have these new quarterbacks and new coaches, man. I'm like, oh shit.
Man, you got to use both sides of your brain.
That's tough, but there's a lot of young QBs also making their first playoff experience. I don't know if this is a record, but there's 5 QBs making their postseason debuts this week. Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Derek Carr, Kyler Murray, and Mac Jones. Young QBs, I guess is the way to say it, because Derek Carr is not a rookie QB. Which young QB throws for the most yards? Burrow, Hurts, Carr, Murray, or Jones?
Burrow. I mean, he got 1,000 yards the last 2 weeks of the season passing, so yeah. I think he went for 400 and 500 or whatever. But yeah, so I say Joe Burrow. He's staying in that group.
I'm gonna go with Derek Carr. I think Burrow. It's either Burrow or Carr. I don't see how Mac Jones. They just completely get rid of that old game plan of running the ball. But Joe Burrow certainly or Derek Carr are gonna be the one of the guys. We got to let everyone know that every week we're going to play Vic's Picks for free, and you can win a chance to be on the show with us and a chance to win a free month of Fubo TV. Answer questions correctly at Gaming Society, gspredictionsgame.com for a chance to win. That's gs.predictionsgame.com for a chance to win. I'm reading this 2 times, Mike Vick, so everybody knows what the going on, because we want to play and give away some free tickets. We want to give away some free stuff for everybody, but we got our all-in bet is what we're going to go into, Mike. Let me just reiterate. I'm 6-7. There's still a chance I can catch you, so don't slip up. You know, we got a couple weeks. You're 8-5. You got a chance to end with a spectacular record here. All in bets of the week. Let me remind you who you got. You got the Raiders at the Bengals. You got the Patriots at the Bills. You got the Eagles at the Bucks. The Niners at the Cowboys. Steelers at the Chiefs. And the Cardinals at the Rams.
Well, all in. I go all in with Buffalo over New England.
Ooh, -4, Mike Vick. They got to win by a touchdown.
Yeah.
Right now. Doesn't mean it's going to change. Patriots at the Bills. Mike Vick, his all-in bet. Buffalo over New England. I'm not taking that one. I'm going to take – yikes. I'm going to take the Rams covering against the Cardinals. Also need to win by a touchdown. Also the third time these teams play each other. There's something about that attracted us, but that's those are the all-in bets. You got Dave Anderson representing Los Angeles and the LA Rams over the Cardinals, and Mike Vick representing the Buffalo Bills over the Patriots. Something fun factoid of the Wildcard weekend. Every home team is favored this week. But the question we want to ask is how many away teams are going to advance to the divisional round? So how many of these away teams? You got away teams, the Raiders, Patriots, Eagles, Niners, Steelers, and Cardinals. How many away teams you think get out? You got 6 as the max. Do you think any of these guys survive this battle and move on?
I think a couple of them survive. I can't say who, but I think we'll say some of them will probably somebody gonna go on the road and win.
Give me if it's a max 6, give me how many you think?
2. I say 2 of them.
I like that.
The 2 teams move forward.
Speaking of 2.
4 home teams get it done as well.
Speaking of 2, Mike Vick, why don't you show them what you got? We got 1 bottle.
Yeah, we got 2.
Where's your bottle? We got 2 bottles now. Off hour. Yours is full. That's right.
Yeah, I ain't trying to get over yet.
And we got 2 questions we're doing. It will be empty.
It will hit the palate.
We got our off hours when it's time to shut it down. Not talk football, talk a little life. Yep. Let's see what we got. You know, I might travel. I might go to San Antonio, but, you know, our producers would kill us if I didn't bring my off hours bourbon. So you better believe it made it in the bag this week. The off hours question. What was the most underrated city during your playing career to visit on a road trip?
The most underrated city. I would say maybe Indianapolis.
Really?
Yeah.
You liked Indy? You go to St. Elmo's?
I mean, it wasn't a bad town. I mean, it had some nice little steakhouses out there. And, it was cold when we went, but it had a nice mall, and yeah, we hung out. So it wasn't bad. Really,
Indianapolis. Well, people forget about football players. We are in and out, right? Yeah. And I don't know if you did any extended trips. I only had one extended trip where we flew in on Friday and we had Saturday and Sunday. That was when on Washington we played Seattle. We landed. We had Saturday in Seattle and then played on Sunday when I was on the.
Right.
I didn't like that because we were in the hotel all day. They didn't really go out. We went to a restaurant. It wasn't that fun. But my favorite city. You know what? It's because of the walkability. Because when I was there, you had to get a taxi or a car service. You couldn't just Uber somewhere and Uber back. You know, we had to rough it. We were, we were a little different. Yeah. San Diego.
I thought about San Diego.
I like San Diego because you could walk anywhere and get whatever you wanted.
When you go out there, so I can see why.
Yeah. Because to basically, Dave Anderson, Mike Vick are saying we're somewhere where you had to walk. It might be a cool city, but like you couldn't walk. Right. All right, we got 2 questions for this week. This is big time right here because you know what? Both of us have brand new college coaches on our campus.
Yeah, we do.
And I don't know if you saw this, but Mike Vick, you gave me a lot of shit about, I don't know, when Paul Tagliabue came on and talked about basketball about 10 weeks ago about Colorado State. But you know Colorado State's ranked number 20 in basketball. I don't see Virginia Tech up there. might want to retrace some of you to talk about that. But
we're dealing with some things up the way. You know, we're gonna get it figured out. We got some time. It's early.
All right, Mike. Give me your best recruitment pitch to a 5-star recruit that you're trying to get to go to Virginia Tech, to your alma mater.
Hey, look, you know, when you step into the Mike Vick Hall, which is what they call it, you stepping into greatness. And we demand excellence. We demand excellence. When you walk through these Virginia Tech doors, look, we can't promise you what your future gonna look like, but we can tell you got a future. You got a future in football, and you got a future in life in general. So that's what we can offer you. Boom, enough said. Come to the Mike Vick Hall. You got to see it. It's amazing. It's a crazy sales pitch.
I want to go. I want to go. I don't know if I'm a 5-star. I don't know if I'm a 5-star recruit. Wait, hold on.
Right there on the wall. Right there on the wall. As soon as
you have Mike Vick Hall?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, what a baller.
Oh, man, I'm talking about like my whole, it's huge.
What a baller.
Almost like a mile of just
Mike Vick.
Me and all my guys.
Oh.
2001, no, it's not a mile, I'm exaggerating.
Dude, so this poor recruit's going to have to turn around and now call.
They showed me a lot of love when they created the hall, so yeah. I think that it was a recruiting pitch.
Damn, this poor recruit's going to have to come around and I'm just going to be like, you know what?
Thing is, you're not coming there to be like me, and everybody's not going to be a quarterback. It's just about the excellence that we demand on campus.
I'm not even going to give my pitch to this 5-star recruit because I'm going to tell him, you know what? There is no Dave Anderson Hall, and if there is, it's in the speech communication building down the way, and you're not going to be here for that. So go ahead and go to Virginia Tech and compete for a national championship with Mike Vick and his crew. Don't go to Colorado State quite yet, but give us a couple years. We got a new coach. Yeah. We're going to rally. You give me a couple years and ask this question, but that's the Gaming Society football show, Wildcard weekend. That's Mike Vick. I'm Dave Anderson. Make sure you play the games. Make sure you enjoy this podcast. Like us. Cheer us on. We'll be back. You guys have a good one. Make sure to sign up and subscribe at thegamingsociety.com and hit that follow button at The Gaming Society on all social platforms.